The 2017-2018 tax season will be officially opened today by Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene when he releases the SARS service charter. The tax filing season started at the weekend, and SARS is encouraging taxpayers to use the online e-filing system and to only submit returns if they're eligible to do so. The tax season is shorter this year, lasting only 4 months, ending in October.
Meanwhile, the inquiry into tax administration and governance issues at SARS will resume today. Judge Robert Nugent will rule on whether the inquiry will be temporarily halted, as demanded by suspended SARS boss Moyane. His lawyer, advocate Dali Mpofu, argued that the inquiry should not be taking place ahead of Moyane's disciplinary hearings at SARS. Judge Nugent says the public hearings are expected to resume in August, pending more investigations.
Meanwhile, Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene is expected to visit the Revenue Office in Alberton East of Johannesburg to signal the official opening of the tax season. For the latest, we're joined by SABC Reporter Liabo Setho at the SARS Contact Centre in Alberton. Liabo, the Minister was supposed to have arrived about 30 minutes ago. Is he there already?
Good morning, Desiree. Yes, the Minister did arrive at exactly just before 8:30. He was here. He has already done his walkabout in the contact centre. What is special about this contact centre is that SARS is planning to go paperless this year, Desiree. They are planning to make sure that all the taxpayers, they file their filing on e-filing. This is, of course, not a new thing, but of course, they're going all the way digital, trying to minimize the queues that we see, the delays in filing. So if everyone is able to do it online, all the better for them. What is also very important in this particular tax season is the issue that just last year we saw that there was a shortfall in collection, and we'll see what the SARS team, what their predictions for the year will be. But I have with me the acting commissioner, Mr. Kingon, who will tell us what the plans for SARS is. We do know that the public is hinging a lot on the reputation of this entity, and we know that there's also a parallel inquiry happening in Pretoria that I believe that will be underway today. But let me speak to Mr. Kingon and let's find out about what the plans for 2018 are. Mr. Kingon, thank you very much for your time. First of all, we started this year on a shortfall because last year we collected far less than we were planning to collect. How much are we planning to collect this year? How are you going to ensure compliance?
Well, the planned collection is 1.345 trillion, so it's a significant amount. It's in excess of 10% higher from the previous year. What are we going to do? Obviously, filing season today is one aspect, and I'll deal with that. But we're looking at non-compliance across VAT, pay-as-you-earn, specifically the so-called agents taxes, to ensure that people are doing their rightful portion in that regard. When you submit a return and you don't pay us, we're going to be following up far quicker this year. And we're also looking for specific audit interventions, specifically with regards to illicit economy, and we're going to have a specific focus relating to that. We are investigating currently the large business environment to ensure that we properly service them, and we believe in so doing we can try and claw back in terms of shortfalls that may or may not occur.
Too much negative publicity has been put on the shoulders of SARS, and the public out there wants to know if they can still trust this institution.
You know, just getting feedback in terms of our organization, and I look at the advancements we've made for this filing season, which are quite significant. Just a simple thing for the viewers there is that we are pre-populating more fields this year than we've ever done before.
What does that mean?
Well, essentially, you will not have to go and find the figures to fill them in. So, for instance, this year we are pre-populating the retirement annuity contributions, which we never did in the past. That helps clients just understand it's completed for them. They don't have to worry about that. And that's the direction we are trying to go to ensure that taxpayers trust us. We are trying to do the right thing. We also are rolling out what we call an enhanced case communication program, where we are going to be communicating far more proactively with our taxpayers on every step of the process. So if a person is stuck, for instance, in audit and the supporting documents come in, we want to communicate, yes, we've got your documents. Thank you. More communication enables people people to understand where the matter is in the process. We believe in so doing that people will see us doing the right thing. And that is what we committed to do. Both myself and my leadership team, we committed to do the right thing to ensure that the trust is with SARS in terms of that.
One of the biggest concerns was the issue of delayed tax refunds to taxpayers. How are you ensuring that we all get our money on time this year?
Well, one of the key delays, let's talk about personal income tax. Obviously, when a person's bank details are up to date and they are not subject to a verification or audit, those refunds will continue to flow very quickly. What we are doing this year slightly differently. If you are submitting this year's return, you will get priority over a taxpayer who is submitting older returns. And we believe in so doing, we'll be showing that the compliant do get preference in terms of that. And that is one of the things that we've focused on. We've got a whole new framework which we are dealing with on bank details to stop people having to repeatedly go into the branch. We've got a whole rollout relating to that. And then very importantly, enabling taxpayers to understand what they need to do by giving them direct communication and what they need to submit to us for an audit, which will enable both them and us to process the audits quicker and hopefully the refunds quicker, which obviously is something that we'd like to do.
Now, not all of us are technologically advanced, and one person might find it very easier to go on your app and file themselves, but others cannot, and they would still prefer the human contact. How are you bridging that divide?
Two things. So firstly, yes, that is a serious concern. So in the past year, we had about 50% of the people e-filed, 50% went to our branches. We'd like to see that moving to more e-filing and less at our branches. And a lot is to do with the fear. And Help You e-file, we are punting heavily this year, and we are asking taxpayers, remember you can get an agent the same as you can get at a branch who can assist you with the filing of that return. And the people that your viewers are seeing behind me are all helping taxpayers to enable them to file their returns. And we want to encourage, we believe that's a better way than standing in the cold at a branch. This morning we've served already 7,000 people at our branches. We've had 8,000 people arrive so far. But go on e-filing for the last 24 hours, we've had 54,000 people file. It is far quicker, far more efficient, and we really want people to understand there is help there. You don't have to worry. Call the contact center. We'll even call you back if you can't hold.
One of the reasons that were given to us about the revenue shortfall collection for last year was the issue of the economic conditions. They are no better this year because we saw that in the first quarter of this year, the economy slowed down by around 2.2%. But we also had the increase in VAT collection. Do you plan to use that in order to boost that 1 trillion collection that you talk about?
Yes, obviously the 1% adjustment, and there's other policy initiatives that are underway. But what we need to do to close the gap is look at the debt book, for instance. That's one area. We got a debt book at the end of the financial year of over 130 billion rand that is owed to us, which is quite significant. But more importantly, we need to ensure that everybody is doing their rightful duty in filing their returns on time and then paying. So I gave an example in the media. You may have heard me before, where in April 14,000 VAT vendors filed their return and didn't pay. We are going to be far more proactive in following up those types of non-compliance to ensure compliance immediately.
Just lastly, how concerned are you that this filing season happens parallel with the inquiry that's happening in Pretoria?
Obviously, any negativity in terms of SARS is of concern to me, and I am concerned. However, we must see that at the end of this, we hope to come out stronger. And our focus is, and our people's focus is, let's do the right thing. Even though there is negativity there, there's a lot to be positive about. If I just look at what we've managed to achieve in the rollout this year, it is quite significant for filing season. And I believe taxpayers will see an improvement in the service offering.
Let's hope they do. Thank you very much, Mr. Kingon. Thank you very much for your time. Well, Desiree, that was Mr. Mark Kingon. He's the acting commissioner here at the South African Revenue Services. Today is the beginning of the tax filing season for 2018, and we are at the contact center in Alberton, and this is where the walkabout with the finance minister happened. He interacted and fielded calls and interacted with the staff here. It's a large contact center with a lot of people. Work is going ahead. So, Mr. Kingon, Kingon is saying that they will be very, very stringent and strict this year and making sure that people are compliant because, of course, SARS needs every cent that it can get in order to, advance everything, the infrastructure development, the roads, the school that we all need. And it's back to the studio.
Thank you so much there, Liabo Setho, our reporter at the SARS Contact Center in Alberton.